The XL 102 Morning Show proudly presents Spelling with Chuck.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is highway cop. Spell it with me now. Highway cop. Highwaycop. Now let's use it in a sentence. I wake up every morning with the XL 102 Morning Show just to see what they're going to say about me next. Till next time, this is Learning to Spell with Councilman Chuck.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show. The XL 102 Morning Show proudly presents Spelling with Chuck.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is consumption. Spell it with me now. Consumption. Consumption. Now, let's use it in a sentence. My constituents are always asking me, Chuck, consumption be done about the crime in the streets? Consumption be done about the drug problem? Well, I got a question, too. Consumption be done about all these people bugging me all the time?
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show. The XL 102 Morning Show proudly presents Spelling with Chuck.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is seizure. Spell it with me now. Seizure. Seizure. Now, let's use it in a sentence. So she said to me, if my husband sees your car in front of our house, you'll know you're in here with me, so park it somewhere else. Like I always say, a word to the wise can save your thighs.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is ingest. Spell it with me now. Ingest. Ingest. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Like I keep telling all my supporters, the Jeffs are only doing this thing in jest. So I just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Until next time, this is Learning to Spell with Councilman Chuck. Hi, this is Councilman Chuck. And in keeping with the name theme, the word we're spelling this morning is actually two words. Doug Wilder. Spell it with me now. Doug Wilder. Dougwilder. Now let's use it in a sentence. The cable company sent a couple of guys over to the house to do some work. One dug while the other supervised. I know which of those jobs I would take. Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is protocol. Spell it with me now. Protocol. Protocol. Now let's use it in a sentence. Now that I belong to the Country Club of Virginia, I'm trying to learn how to play golf. Those people out there are really nice. They gave me the name of a good protocol. I'm thinking of giving them the name of a good tailor. Like I told you yesterday, the pants some of these guys wear boggle the mind.
Spelling with Chuck.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Odyssey. Spell it with me now. Odyssey. Odyssey. Now let's use it in a sentence. This week I've been talking about my golf game over at CCV. I love the lush greens, but you ought to see the sand traps. That's where I spend most of my time. And you ought to see the pants that some of these dudes are wearing. Have I mentioned the pants yet?
Spelling
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is delivery. Spell it with me now. Delivery. Delivery. Now let's use it in a sentence. That Saddam Hussein must not want to live, or he wouldn't provoke the United States into a confrontation. He will most certainly lose. The dude's a madman. Believe me, it takes one to know one, I guess. Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is sesame. Spell it with me now. Sesame. Sesame. Now let's use it in a sentence. Who says XL 102 plays the best classic rock and the best new rock? Sesame, that's who, and I know what I'm talking about, at least on this particular issue. Till next time, this is Learning to Spell with Councilman Chuck. Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is weed whacker. Spell it with me now. Weed whacker. Weedwacker. Now let's use it in a sentence. We got this little puppy, and sometimes she'd make a mess on the floor, so we'd whack her a couple of times with the local newspaper to get her to stop. I hated to do it, but what else is that paper good for? Now, wait a minute, honey, I got a great idea.
Spelling with
Chuck. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is agenda. Spell it with me now. Agenda. Agenda. Now let's use it in a sentence. I'm with the Jess on this Sinead O'Connor thing. I find myself uncomfortable watching a performer with a gender problem, if you catch my meaning. I like a man to look like a man and a woman to look, well, you know. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is beginnings. Spell it with me now, beginnings. B-E-G-I-N-N-I-N-G-S. Now, let's use it in a sentence. The way I see it, the only way to beat the Oakland Athletics is to have a couple of big innings. You know, score a lot of runs. That, and don't be arguing with the umpires. They have no sense of humor.
Spelling with Chuck.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Aurora. Spell it with me now, Aurora. A-U-R-O-R-A. Now, let's use it in a sentence. I've got to go to Charlottesville sometime soon and watch the Cavs play football. I'd love to hear the roar of the crowd when Sean Moore tosses another TD pass. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is conceive. Spell it with me now, conceive. C-O-N-C-E-I-V-E. Another example of I before E except after C. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Last week I was talking about some of my favorite Who songs, and I just thought of another one that really strikes my fancy. I conceive for miles and miles and miles.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
Spelling this morning are Barber and Semi. Spell them with me now. Barber, B-A-R-B-E-R, and Semi, S-E-A-M-Y. Now let's use them in a sentence. When I get to thinking what's my favorite Who song, it's a toss-up between Barbara O'Reilly and that song from Tommy, you know, See Me, Feel Me, Touch Me. Man, I love the opera. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is dignified. Spell it with me now, dignified, D-I-G-N-I-F-I-E-D. Now let's use it in a sentence. Over the weekend, I was putting up a fence in my backyard, and I ended up paying a fine to the phone company for cutting through a cable. Hey, I never would have been dignified knowing there was a phone line there. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is unaware. Spell it with me now, unaware. U-N-A-W-A-R-E. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Every night before I get into bed, I take off my underwear. I love the feel of a clean sheet on my bare skin. Till next time, this is Learning to Spell with Councilman Chuck. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is sausage. Spell it with me now, sausage. S-A-U-S-A-G-E. Now, let's use it in a sentence. You know that XL 102 television commercials all over the tube these days, and I can understand why Jeff McKee is so enamored with the lovely young lady. I never saw such a beautiful woman on a TV commercial before. I wonder what her legs look like.
Spelling with
this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is arraignment. Spell it with me now, arraignment. A-R-R-A-I-G-N-M-E-N-T. Now, let's use it in a sentence. You know, when I was a little boy growing up, a rain meant I had to stay inside and play. Now that I'm all grown up, a rain means fighting my way through traffic, losing my umbrella, getting all wet, catching a cold. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Havana. Spell it with me now, Havana. H-A-V-A-N-A. Now, let's use it in a sentence. I'm thinking about taking a trip to Hollywood where I hope to have Vanna White show me the sights. You know, Vanna and I have a lot in common. Well, with all the spelling we both do in public. Till next time, this is Learning to Spell with Councilman Chuck. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is herbicide. Spell it with me now, herbicide. H-E-R-B-I-C-I-D-E. Now, let's use it in a sentence. This morning I came down here to Carolina Bedrooms on Broad Street next to Loman's to meet the remarkable Teresa Blake, and look at me. I got a picture of her beside me sitting in this waterbed. I don't think I'll be bringing this picture home. The little lady might...
Spelling with Chuck.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is flatulent. Flatulent. Spell it with me now. F-L-A-T-U-L-E-N-T. Now let's use it in a sentence. The other day I received a letter which read, Dear Chuck, you are truly a great servant of the people. Why, just the other day when I got a flat, you lent me a quarter to call AAA. I wonder if that's what they mean by a two-bit politician.
The XL 102 Morning Show proudly presents Spelling with Chuck.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is cosmic. Spell it with me now, cosmic. C-O-S-M-I-C. Now let's use it in a sentence. You know, I never did like the Rolling Stones all that much, because Mick Jagger's so ugly. But then again, when Keith Richards stands up front, he's pretty ugly, too. I guess I just can't get no satisfaction with either of them.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Amaco. Spell it with me now. Amaco. A-M-A-C-O. Now let's use it in a sentence. A lot of people say I'm a cold-hearted politician, but I wouldn't have busted into that poor lady's house if I didn't care about her, and that's the fact, Jack. Till next time, this is Learning to Spell with Councilman Chuck. This is Councilman Chuck, and the special Halloween word we're spelling this morning is kryptonite. Spell it with me now. Kryptonite. K-R-Y-P-T-O-N-I-T-E. Now let's use it in a sentence. As my old friend Dracula once said to his wife, "Honey, if you need me, I'll be down in the kryptonite." You know, Dracula later divorced his wife. He told me he was tired of the old bat. Get it?
Spelling with...
This is Councilman Chuck, and the special Halloween word we're spelling this morning is pumpkin. Spell it with me now. Pumpkin. P-U-M-P-K-I-N. Now let's use it in a sentence. If you're out on a long stretch of highway and you get a flat tire, a pump can come in mighty handy, especially if you don't have a jack and you're not a member of AAA and there's not a phone nearby and it's raining, the wind's howling, and strange animals are creeping up behind you. And you... This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is sitcom. Spell it with me now. Sitcom. S-I-T-C-O-M. Now let's use it in a sentence. Some words of wisdom from Councilman Chuck. If a policeman pulls you over for going too fast, my advice, sit calm. Don't say nothing. Let your lawyer do the talking. Why do you think they call them mouthpieces?
Spelling.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is sourdough. Spell it with me now. Sourdough. S-O-U-R-D-O-U-G-H. Now let's use it in a sentence. Elections are here next Tuesday, and budget's on everybody's mind this year. I've gotten a lot of people calling me saying, "Hey, Chuck, watch this tax thing. Remember, it's sourdough you're spending, so don't spend it foolishly." This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is hallucination. Spell it with me now. Hallucination. H-A-L-L-U-C-I-N-A-T-R-O-N. Now let's use it in a sentence. With all the crime and drug abuse and moral decay in America these days, a decent man must worry about hallucination we've become and what we got to do to get our act together and straighten up and fly right. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is dimension. Spell it with me now. Dimension. D-I-M-E-N-S-I-O-N. Now let's use it in a sentence. I'm a politician because I like doing things for other people. I don't do it for the personal reward or thanks. When someone tells me, "Chuck, we appreciate all you did for us," I just say, "Hey, it's my job to mention it." And that's why they love me. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is extradition. Spell it with me now. Extradition. E-X-T-R-A-D-I-T-I-O-N. Now let's use it in a sentence. In real estate school, you learn that an extradition on a house, like a deck or a carport or a barbecue pit, can add value to a home. You also learn how to stick signs with balloons on them. This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is seawater. Spell it with me now. Seawater. S-E-A-W-A-T-E-R. Now let's use it in a sentence. That Lark Logan sure does sound sexy on the radio. I just might drop on over to XL 102 one morning just to see what her legs look like.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Tupelo. Spell it with me now. Tupelo. T-U-P-E-L-O. Now let's use it in our sentence. Man, I tell you, I think winter's coming early this year. Yesterday morning, I could swear the temperature was 2 below zero. Oh, man, it's going to be a long winter, and I hate the cold.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is satiate. Spell it with me now. Satiate. S-A-T-I-A-T-E. Now let's use it in a sentence. I went to the Bird Theater and bought a jumbo tub of hot buttered popcorn to share with my woman. I got up for a few minutes, and when I got back, the popcorn was gone. I satiated. She said, "What popcorn?" She made me go get another one.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is stigma. Spell it with me now. Stigma. S-T-I-G-M-A. Now let's use it in a sentence. Sometimes to be a good servant of the people, I gotta stick my neck out and do what's gotta be done. Problem is, my neck is so far extended I feel like a turkey on the day before Thanksgiving.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Uriah. Spell it with me now. Uriah. U-R-I-A-H. And now let's use it in a sentence. I hope to see you at the Renegades game tonight at the Coliseum. You know I love hockey, and the best way to enjoy a game is to just keep your eye on the puck and make a lot of noise. Here's a cheer I wrote. Go Gage, you're all right. Hope you knock someone's teeth out tonight.
Spelling with Chuck.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is mahogany. Spell it with me now. Mahogany. M-A-H-O-G-A-N-Y. Now let's use it in a sentence. The other day a farmer came to my office to complain that his pig was stolen from his truck while he was doing some business in Carytown. So I said to him, your pig was stolen? And then he said to me, yeah, now I don't have mahogany more.
Spelling with...
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is accredit. Spell it with me now. Accredit. A-C-C-R-E-D-I-T. And now let's use it in a sentence. If I ever have to break into one of my constituents' homes again to ensure their health and safety, I'll use a credit card. I almost broke my shoulder the last time. I don't know what I was thinking about.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling today is Senate. Spell it with me now. Senate. S-E-N-A-T-E. Now let's use it in a sentence. This holiday season, the perfect present is my best of Spelling with Chuck tape. And if you buy it now, you can send it to someone you love in time for Christmas.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is enhance. Spell it with me now. Enhance. E-N-H-A-N-C-E. Now let's use it in a sentence. One of my favorite old sayings, and I try to live by it every day, is a bird in hand's worth two in the bush. Another one I like a whole heck of a lot is the lights are on, but the elevator doesn't stop at the top floor or something of that nature.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is toboggan. Spell it with me now. Toboggan. T-O-B-O-G-G-A-N. Now let's use it in a sentence. My wife and I love to go to the flea market toboggan with the people selling stuff. You never know when you might get yourself a good deal. Till next time, this is Learning to Spell with Councilman Chuck.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is protocol. Spell it with me now. Protocol. P-R-O-T-O-C-O-L. Now let's use it in a sentence. Now that I belong to the Country Club of Virginia, I'm trying to learn how to play golf. Those people out there are really nice. They gave me the name of a good protocol. I'm thinking of giving them the name of a good tailor. Like I told you yesterday, the pants some of these guys wear boggle the mind.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is ominous. Spell it with me now. Ominous. O-M-I-N-O-U-S. Now let's use it in a sentence. Yesterday on the news, I heard that Saddam Hussein is telling his friends, confidentially, I think I'm in this Kuwait thing way over my head. Well, he should have thought about that before he messed with George Bush.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is weed whacker. Spell it with me now. Weed whacker. W-E-E-D-W-A-C-K-E-R. Now let's use it in a sentence. We got this little puppy, and sometimes she'd make a mess on the floor. So we'd whack her a couple of times with the local newspaper to get her to stop. I hated to do it, but what else is that paper good for? Now, wait a minute, honey. I got a great idea.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102
and then let
morning
the puppy
show.
make the poo-poo on the paper.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Aloysius. Spell it with me now. Aloysius. A-L-O-Y-S-I-U-S. Now let's use it in a sentence. This Christmas, Aloysius for peace on earth and goodwill to men. And that all my debts that I've incurred in the past years would be forgiven, like the money I owe that rehab center.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is inflict. Spell it with me now. Inflict. I-N-F-L-I-C-T. Now let's use it in a sentence. This holiday traffic is terrible. While the other day some guy was tailgating me on Broad Street all the way from downtown to the shops at Willow Lawn. So I finally turned around and flicked him off.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is issues. Spell it with me now. Issues. I-S-S-U-E-S. Now let's use it in a sentence. With the new year here, I'm trying to keep up with my resolutions. One of my resolutions was not to be too judgmental of other people. I mean, you don't know what a man is feeling until you walk a mile in his shoes.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is piccolo. Spell it with me now. Piccolo. Picolo. Now let's use it in a sentence. I asked my friend Harry how he keeps winning in the lottery, and he suggested I pick a low number the next time I played. Hey, with Lotto at 18 million, I just might try that. How can I spend that money? Let me count the ways.
The sugar and spice, I feel nice. The sugar and spice, so nice, so nice. I got you. When I hold you in my arms, I know that I can't do no wrong. And when I hold you in my arms, my love can't do me no harm. And I feel nice, like sugar and spice. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. So good, 'cause I got you. So good, 'cause I got you. So good, 'cause I got you.
James Brown and the Soul Polka Review, live next Friday, subject to South Carolina Parole Board approval. A presentation of XL 102 and Jeffco Promotion.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is exercise. Spell it with me now. Exercise. E-X-E-R-C-I-S-E. Now let's use them in a sentence. I can't help but notice that after all the big dinners that I attended during the holiday season, I got to buy trousers that are an exercise bigger. Yeah, I guess I'm getting fat.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the three words we're spelling this morning are cop or feel. Spell them with me now. Cop or feel. C-O-P-A-F-E-E-L. Now, let's use them in a sentence. I love magic, and my favorite magician is that guy, David Copperfield. Speaking of magic, abracadabra, watch me disappear.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is pseudonym. Spell it with me now. Pseudonym. P-S-E-U-D-O-N-Y-M. Now let's use it in a sentence. It's been brought to my attention that there's these guys making fun of me on the radio. So I called my lawyer and I said, pseudonym skulls. He told me there's nothing you can do about it. You're a celebrity. Well, I guess that's the price of fame.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and this morning we're spelling three words. Tampa, terrace, and belabor. Spell them with me now. Tampa, T-A-M-P-A. Terrace, T-E-R-R-A-C-E, and belabor, B-E-L-A-B-O-R. Now let's use them in a sentence. I got good news and bad news regarding last night's game. The good news is Saddam Hussein didn't tamper with a great institution by sending terrorists to disrupt the action. The bad news is it won't be Labor Day till we see another NFL game.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Schwarzkopf. Spell it with me now. Schwarzkopf. S-C-H-W-A-R-Z-K-O-P-F. Now let's use it in a sentence. Last night I was watching TV6 News, and right in the middle of Lisa LaFata's top story, I could swear I heard Ivan Schwarzkopf. I guess he must be coming down with one of those winter colds. Like I always say, Ivan, citrus fruits.
Spelling.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is lecher. Spell it with me now. Lecher. L-E-C-H-E-R. Now let's use it in a sentence. You know, it's nice to hear Darth Vader doing commercials for the CMP Yellow Pages, although I used to like it when they said, let your fingers do the walking. Hey, one day my fingers did go for a walk. They called me from Charlottesville, caught me short-handed.
Spelling with.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is bumblebee. Spell it with me now. Bumblebee. B-U-M-B-L-E-B-E-E. Now let's use it in a sentence. I heard that the Tampa Bay Bucks were thinking of hiring that evil man Buddy Ryan as head coach. Well, I'm glad they didn't do it. You know, when I first heard the news, I thought, great. If they hire him, every bum will be looking for a job running a team in the NFL. Ooh, he makes my skin
With
crawl.
Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is furlough. Spell it with me now. Furlough. F-U-R-L-O-U-G-H. Now let's use it in a sentence. You know, I'm on the side of the state employees on this vacation time without pay thing. You see, I'm a civil servant, too. And like them, I work for low wages. Like them, I work like a dog. Like them, I work long hours. I know what it's like to have
Spelling with
people
Chuck
talking
is an
about you behind
exclusive
your back.
educational
I know what
feature
it's like
of
to
the
be ridiculed
XL
in public.
102 Morning Show.
I'm sorry, I got turned away.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is banshee. Spell it with me now. Banshee. B-A-N-S-H-E-E. Now let's use it in a sentence. I saw Edie Brickell on Saturday Night Live last weekend. I kind of like her style, but the band she plays with, they look like a bunch of Fruit Loops. And what the heck are they called again? The new Hungarians or the new Bolivians? The new...
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Doug Wilder. You know how to spell it, Doug Wilder. Now let's use it in a sentence. Here's a message to the governor concerning state employees shouldering the burden of the budget by taking unpaid vacation time. Doug, Wilder things need to be proposed. How about state employees selling their blood to raise cash, or rent them out to other states on weekends, or let them take 52 weeks a year off? That'd save some dough.
Spelling with Chuck is an
It's a
exclusive
joke,
educational
son.
feature.
I'm just
of
making
the
a point
XL 102
through
Morning
satire,
Show.
humor.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Anita Baker. Spell it with me now. Anita Baker. A-N-I-T-A-B-A-K-E-R. Now let's use it in a sentence. In honor of the holiday of love, Valentine's Day, I'd like to formally invite you to Richmond's wedding of the decade this Thursday. I'll give you the details as they're worked out, like his head of catering, Anita Baker for the wedding cake.
Spelling with Chuck
I
is an
love
exclusive
Valentine's Day.
educational
Love is in the
feature
air.
of the XL 102 Morning
Hey, honey,
Show.
shut the window. It's driving the dogs nuts.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is honeymoon. Spell it with me now. Honeymoon. H-O-N-E-Y-M-O-O-N. Now let's use it in a sentence. TV6 is here today covering the wedding, and a little earlier I told Suzanne that if she wanted some privacy, all she has to do is say to Chucky, honeymoon that guy with a live TV camera. Hey, it works for me. Let me show ya.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
Oh, sorry about that.
The XL 102 Morning Show proudly presents Spelling with Chuck.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Mickey. Spell it with me now. Mickey. M-I-C-K-E-Y. Now let's use it in a sentence. Congratulations to that girl from Richmond who won on Jeopardy. I was on the show, but I messed up the final Jeopardy answer. The question was 3 famous Mickeys. So I wrote down Mickey Mouse, the cartoon star, Mickey Mantle, the baseball player, and Mickey Way, the candy bar. Well, all I got was a snicker from Alex Reeboks.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is abandon. Spell it with me now. Abandon. A-B-A-N-D-O-N. Now let's use it in a sentence. On my recent appearance on Jeopardy, I did pretty good in the music category. The question was McCartney's best-selling album. I answered Abandon the Run. I didn't know it stopped jogging. I did pretty good in mythology, too. The question was a horse with wings. I said, what is Pegasus?
Right.
And then the question was a dog with wings. I said, Linda McCartney. But now they said I was wrong, but I've got the proof right here. Now listen to her howl.
See, you didn't put it in the form of a question.
Oh, that must be it.
I love that.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Oliver North. Spell it with me now. Oliver North. O-L-I-V-E-R-N-O-R-T-H. Now let's use it in a sentence. Speaking as a veteran, I found your support for yesterday's Operation Family Shield most gratifying. It seems we heard from everyone in America except for Hanoi Jane Fonda. She must have been partying with Oliver North Vietnamese friends.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102
Now,
Morning
here she's
Show.
going out with Ted Turner. Personally, I think she's a stomach turner.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Arthur Kent. Spell it with me now. Arthur Kent. A-R-T-H-U-R-K-E-N-T. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Well, on second thought, make that a short story. Let's take a trip out to Philip Morris and go on their grand tour of the factory. I'll be your guide and answer all your questions.
Is it true that Marlboro was once marketed as a woman's cigarette?
Yes, that's true.
Where's the bathroom I have to make?
It's to the right, young man.
Listen, when do you give out the free samples of dog food?
Not in your lifetime, Sparky.
Where are the bathrooms?
Well, the bathrooms that were on the right are now on your left.
Arthur Kent's cigarettes still being made?
You want the P. Lorillard to it. Boy, was that a reach, huh? It took forever to get to the punchline. I bet you forgot the word. Arthur Kent. Get it? Oh, boy.
Where is the bathroom?
What are you...
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is ecstasy. Spell it with me now. Ecstasy. E-C-S-T-A-C-Y. Now, let's use it in a sentence. The other morning, one of my constituents took me out to eat. Imagine my surprise when I looked up from my ecstasy, an unclad woman gyrating above my plate. She smiled and said, "Welcome to Daddy Rabbit's, big boy." So this is the famous eggs and legs breakfast.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning
They
Show.
ought to try this over at Shoney's, get it? Shoney's? Come on now, wake up, Shoney's. These are the jokes, son.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Heidi. Spell it with me now. Heidi. H-E-I-D-I. Now let's use it in a sentence. The sweetest words I've heard in a long time were when the president said, "I declare the war is over." So I borrowed these girls from Ray Charles's Pepsi commercial to express my joy. Hit it, girls.
Hallelujah.
I particularly am fond of the lady on the right.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and this morning we're spelling two words, horizon and lima. Spell them with me now. Horizon, H-O-R-I-Z-O-N, and lima, L-I-M-A. Now let's use them in a sentence. Seeing that the Doors movie premieres tonight, I got to thinking about my favorite Doors song, and I'm torn between the one that goes, "Keep Horizon the road in the hands upon Lucille," and the classic Lima Fire.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
Oh, that Mr. Mojo Rising sure had a way with words, huh?
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is recapture. Spell it with me now. Recapture. R-E-C-A-P-T-U-R-E. Now let's use it in a sentence. I dropped off my car to get an oil change, and the guy called me later and said, "Hey, as long as the car was in the shop, I went ahead and put in a new engine, rotated your windows, installed a groovy quadraphonic 8-track sound system, and recaptured tires." I can't complain. You haven't lived till you heard a Ted Nugent 8-track on a quad system.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is guffaw. Spell it with me now. Guffaw. G-U-F-F-A-W. Now let's use it in a sentence. Two things my mother always warned me about was running with scissors. She said you might trip and stab yourself. And jumping up and down on the bed. She said you could fall off and break your neck. Well, hey, Mama, look, here's your boy Chuck here running with the scissors. What are you gonna do about it?
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is upholstery. Spell it with me now. Upholstered. U-P-H-O-L-S-T-E-R-I-E-D. Now let's use it in a sentence. So I told the guy, if you want to get to Wood Lake, take the Chippenham Parkway, make a right up Pole Street, and keep going till you see a lot of people that look like stunt doubles from 30-something. These are not my people. I have no idea who these people are.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102
Even the women are
Morning
wearing
Show.
suspenders. Yuppies all over the place.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is crotch. Spell it with me now. Crotch. C-R-O-T-C-H. Now, let's use it in a sentence. This weekend, I'm going to clean out my crotch. I'd like to put the car back in there, but I got so much other junk, there's no room. Maybe I'll have a crotch sale. Make a little money from that junk that's been gathering dust in my crotch all these years.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is interim. Spell it with me now. Interim. I-N-T-E-R-I-M. Now, let's use it in a sentence. By the time the deep thinkers at the Richmond school system finally discovered that Superintendent Jones had been using his city-issued credit card to buy lots of great things for himself and his family, he was interim for over $4,000. The Jones card, the one charge that keeps going
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
Of course, it's my obligation to today's youth to be spelling.
Well, you're not running for anything right now. Why don't
No.
you just spell?
Okay, the word we're spelling this morning is pasteurize. Spell it with me now. Pasteurize. P-A-S-T-E-U-R-I-Z-E. Now, let's use it in a poem. Mary Sue Terry, Attorney General of the state, there's another job you want, and I know you can't wait. For Doug to declare, hey, it ain't no surprise that the title of governor's been floating past your eyes.
Pasteurized.
Get it?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, good luck and may the best man win.
You know, if she wins, we're in a lot of trouble.
Mm-mm.
At least you and I are.
Not me.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is llama. Spell it with me now. Well, actually, there's two ways to spell llama. With one L, L-A-M-A, or with two L's, L-L-A-M-A. Let me explain the difference. A 1L Lama is a Tibetan priest. A 2L Lama is a South African beast of burden. And, of course, everybody knows that a 3L Lama is one heck of a big file.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is mannequin. Spell it with me now. Mannequin. M-A-N-N-E-Q-U-I-N. Now, let's use it in a sentence. I can't believe the skimpy outfit that Jodie Foster wore to the Academy Awards last night. When she walked out on stage, I said to myself, man, it can see everything. Every birthmark and mole on that woman's body is visible. And this ain't even a premium cable channel. I mean, it was incredible. Nobody, honey.
You're going to take a cold shower.
Yeah, honey, sure, honey.
Is it Joe Pesci?
Yeah.
What a man.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is stoic. Spell it with me now. Stoic. S-T-O-I-C. Now, let's use it in a sentence. When my little boy asked me where it came from, I told him the Stoic brought him. He didn't buy that, so I broke down and told him the whole ugly truth. When it was over, I asked why I wanted to know where it came from. He told me the kid next door told him he was from Chicago. But thanks for the great, dirty story, Dad.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is weed eater. Spell it with me now. Weed eater. W-E-E-D-E-A-T-E-R. Now, let's use it in a sentence. When I was a boy growing up on the farm, I'd get a pet pig every Christmas. I'd fatten her up all winter, and then on Easter Sunday, we'd kill her, and then we'd eat her. One Christmas, I got a puppy. Man, I was afraid to sit down for Easter dinner that year.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Hoosier Dome. Spell it with me now. Hoosier Dome. H-O-O-S-I-E-R-D-O-M-E. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Last Friday, I heard someone on your show pick Carolina and UNLV. In light of last night's win by Duke in Indianapolis, I got a question for you. Who's your Dome sportscaster?
That's Schwartz, you idiot.
Oh.
Spelling with Chuck.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is extinguish. Spell it with me now. Extinguish. E-X-T-I-N-G-U-I-S-H. Now, let's use it in a sentence. I love listening to Rockline Monday nights at 11:30 on XL 102. You get to call in to talk to rock stars. For instance, this week I spoke to R.E.M., and a few weeks ago I chatted with George Thorogood. And earlier this year, I even got to extinguish his favorite police song was.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
That was such a reach, I think I pulled something.
Councilman Chuck's Poetry Corner. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning. The word we're spelling this morning is hairpiece. Spell it with me now. Hairpiece. H-E-R-P-E-S. Now, let's use it in a poem. There's a local news anchor that's been around for a while. Got 11 o'clock eyes and a 6 o'clock smile. His delivery is smooth and his smirks are cute. Got a red nose and a hairpiece to boot.
Whoa. Councilman Chuck's Poetry Corner is presented in conjunction with Jeff and Jeff's Continuing School of Education on XL 102.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck. And in keeping with the name theme, the word we're spelling this morning is actually two words. Doug Wilder. Spell it with me now. Doug Wilder. D-O-U-G-W-I-L-D-E-R. Now, let's use it in a sentence. The cable company sent a couple of guys over to the house to do some work. One dug while the other supervised. I know which of those jobs I would do.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck. And the words we're spelling this morning are forgetting and forgiven. Forgetting and forgiven. Well, we don't have time to spell them, so let's just use them in a sentence. They say forgive and forget. But ever since I saw that phony wedding picture McKee tried to sneak into the Times-Dispatch, I can't forgive him for getting dressed up as a woman and for giving me an upset stomach. Hey, pass the Pepto, will you? Man, he is ugly.
Spelling.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the words we're spelling this morning are Bug Zapper. Spell them with me now. Bug Zapper. B-U-G-Z-A-P-P-E-R. Now, let's use them in a sentence. I was watching Entertainment Tonight, and they did a story about rock stars and the weird names they give their kids. Like David Bowie named his son Zoe Bowie. Grace Slick named her daughter God and then changed it to China. And what about that guy who named his three kids Moon Unit, Dweezil, and Bug Zapper?
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
I'm telling you, the kids are scarred for life.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is catacomb. Spell it with me now. Catacomb. C-A-T-A-C-O-M-B. Now let's use it in a sentence. I saw Don King on the tube promoting Friday night's George Foreman Evander Holyfield fight. Man, all I can say is, get that catacomb. Doesn't anybody love the man enough to tell him what a miserable hairdo he's got riding his scalp? Looks like petrified roadkill possum standing up on his hind legs. Good morning. And the word we're spelling this morning is annihilate. Spell it with me now. Annihilate. A-N-N-I-H-I-L-A-T-E. Now let's use it in a history lesson. XL 102's first chili cook-off took place in ancient Egypt, where Cleopatra, queen of Annihilate, chili with Mark Antony and Brutus. Famous quote came from that event. At the end of the day, Brutus asked Cleopatra how many bowls of chili she had. Cleo told him, ate 2, Brute. At least that's the way I heard it.
Very few of us.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is accommodate. Spell it with me now. Accommodate. A-C-C-O-M-O-D-A-T-E. Now let's use it in a personal life history. One complaint women I've seen over the years have had about me is that I rarely take them out for dinner. I admit it, I'm cheap, and it makes them mad. Tomorrow I plan to accommodate who's been complaining by taking her to XL 102's chili cook-off. I'll even pay her $2 to get her in. Hey, she can stuff my face from 11 to 5, and I won't have to feed her again for a month. Let me call her right now and tell her about it.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the words we're spelling this morning are baffle and boxer. Spell them with me now. Baffle, B-A-F-F-L-E, and boxer, B-O-X-E-R. Now let's use them in a sentence. At one of the last city council meetings, the question of what to do with Dirt Woman came up. I said to start, a baffle do him a whole lot of good, and then a boxer, something big to keep him in, wouldn't be a bad idea either. Council members that hadn't agreed with me on one issue all year will vote with me on this one.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is obscene. Well, I don't mean the word itself is obscene. What I mean is the word we're spelling is obscene, not dirty. It's all right. Spell it with me now. Obscene. O-B-S-C-E-N-E. Now let's use it in a sentence. A friend of mine asked me the other day, whatever happened to James Taylor? I mean, the man used to be huge. I told him it was that dirty song of his that done him in. You know, I've seen fire, and I've seen rain, and I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought I've seen you again. B-A-G-O. Now let's use it in a sentence. Being a concerned environmentalist, I agree with the Save the Bay bumper stickers. Because when a bay goes, we're all going to be in trouble. I mean, what about the clams, and them little shrimpies, and the mermaids are going to have to move back to Europe, and the Alaskan king crabs, they're going to have to move back to Alaska. And what about the fish sticks?
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Tylenol. Spell it with me now. Tylenol. T-Y-L-E-N-O-L.
Very good.
Now let's use it in a sentence. I went up to my cabin in West Virginia last weekend to get it ready for summer, and I was shocked at the termite damage. My front porch is history. My bedroom wall is just a memory. And they ate through my bathroom floor, tile and all.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the words we're spelling this morning are Tom Brokaw. Spell them with me now. Tom Brokaw. T-O-M-B-R-O-K-A-W. Now let's use it in a sentence. On last night's NBC TV show Expose, they said good old Chuck Robb, who was governor of Virginia at the time, broke all the rules of milk-drinking, public office holding all-American boy kind of should have held near and dear to him. Well, I feel for the guy, but it's kind of nice to have somebody else named Chuck taking some of the heat for a change. It's kind of refreshing, if you get my meaning.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is CBS. It's a pretty easy one, isn't it? I didn't even have to look this one up. Spell it with me now, CBS. That's spelled C-B and then S.
Right.
Now let's use it in a sentence. When I CBS like that TV show that exposed Chuck Robb and that beauty queen, it makes me mad. I mean, why can't the media just leave guys like us alone? I mean, we're in politics for a reason. They don't
Spelling
need to know
with Chuck
business.
is an
They don't need to know
exclusive
what's going on.
educational
Slow down,
feature
darn
of the
beeswax.
XL
All this El
102
Toro
Morning
poo-poo on the
Show.
tube is making me mad.
I put a spell on you.
This is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is rectify. Spell it with me now. Rectify. R-E-C-T-I-F-Y. Now let's use it in a sentence. Last Sunday, Gary Pope told NBC that Chuck Robb watched as a woman snorted cocaine off a coffee table in front of him at a party in 1983. I mean, it's hard to believe that woman could be so stupid. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't get wrecked if I knew the governor was watching.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive educational feature of the XL 102 Morning Show.
I guess that's why they call it dope.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is frequent. Spell it with me now. Frequent. Frequent. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Well, I see what dirt woman is still upset about being stopped by the police at the governor's inaugural ball. You know the story. The freak went there with a press pass and got stopped and didn't get to go to the ball. Sounds like Cinderella and dirt woman have a lot in common.
Spelling with
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is thyroid. Spell it with me now. Thyroid. Thyroid. Now, let's use it in a sentence. I recently attended a picnic with lots of local politicians. I was seated next to former Mayor West, who was on a diet and kept complaining about how hungry he was. There was a big plate of fried chicken in front of him, and I kept thinking, man, if he just grabbed a thyroid, shut up, and give me a few minutes of peace and quiet. He must have been reading my mind because he started eating. But I didn't get any peace because at that moment, Mayor Kenny started his during dinner speech.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is encounter. Spell it with me now. Encounter. Encounter. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Here's what you got to do to win $5,000 from XL 102. Watch the 11 o'clock news tonight on Channel 6, 8, or 12, and look for our Teresa Blake Remarkable Mouth TV spot. Watch it and counter lip-syncing the word classic. And tomorrow morning, be calling number 18 at 720 with the correct classic count, and the $5,000 is yours.
Chuck, usually I think you're a scream, but encounter.
Well, look,
that's not particularly funny.
I know. I realize it's not very funny, but this contest is costing us a bundle, and we want to make sure you see the darn thing.
Gotcha.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is psychopath. Spell it with me now. Psychopath. Psychopath. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Over the weekend, I tried to get in shape for today's Tour de Pont by taking my bike out to the Psychopath and riding around the track a few times. Now my backside's killing me and I can't sit down. Today I'm adding bike riding to a long list of sports I'd rather watch than participate in, like bungee cord jumping, or knee volleyball, or playing leapfrog with a bunch of drag queens.
Hello, Richmond. This is Dirt Woman. Kiss
Ouch.
me, baby.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the words we're spelling this morning are Ted Danson. Spell it with me now. Ted, T-E-D, and Danson, D-A-N-S-O-N. Now, let's use them in a sentence. I'm disgusted by the stories I've heard about what goes on at the Kennedy compound in Palm Beach. I'm not talking about what Willie Kennedy Smith did or didn't do. Let the courts decide that one. I'm talking about Ted dancing on a coffee table with no pants on. Man, I'd rather get a back rub from Chuck Robb himself than watch something like that. Come on, Ted. Get some pride. And for God's sakes, get some pants.
I put a spell on you.
Hi, this is Councilman Chuck, and the word we're spelling this morning is Doug Wilder. You know how to spell it, Doug Wilder. Now, let's use it in a sentence. Here's a message to the governor concerning state employees shouldering the burden of the budget by taking unpaid vacation time. Doug, wilder things need to be proposed. How about state employees selling their blood to raise cash, or rent them out to other states on weekends, or let them take 52 weeks a year off? That'd save some dough.
Spelling with Chuck is an exclusive
It's a joke, son. I'm just making a point through satire, humor.
Ladybird.
Rejected spelling with Chuck words that were so bad. We decided not to use them on our regular feature. Okay, Mr. Chuck, here we go. Try this one.
All right. Willie Mosconi. Spell it with me now. W-I-L-L-Y-M-O-S-C-O-N-I.
Willie Mosconi.
Right, now let's use it in a sentence. Lately, people have been driving me nuts, calling my office at all hours, asking me if the rumor is true. They say, I heard that Tom Petty's going to play the mosque. Willie, Councilman Chuck? Willie Mosconi hold 3,000 people.
You hear that buzzer there?
Man.
That signifies that's the point, the exact point where the bit died.
It sure did.
Here, try this
What's
one.
this one?
No, here, try this one. Maybe,
All right. What do we got here?
Maybe this will be a little better.